All right, everybody, you are in for a treat today because I have my friend Tracy Beavers here, and she is, first of all, you might laugh because a lot of the things that she says are probably things you hear from me as well, and you're gonna just know immediately why I like her. But we're talking the same talk, Tracy and I. And Tracy is a coach and a visibility strategist, and really talks a lot about growing your audience and your email list. And whether you have an email list or not as a doula, it's visibility is always the same thing. And that's what, Tracy, you're ultimately always talking about is basically we as doulas and everybody who has a business we tend to get so focused on being the best doula. We also forget we have to concentrate on making sure our community knows that we exist.
Yeah.
And that comes down to being visible. And I always say it's like a two-prong problem. The first step is just knowing that you have to be visible. I think we can tend to be like, oh my God, I'm not getting enough clients. I'm doing a bad job. I'm a bad doula. I'm a bad person.
Wow. Yeah.
And do you find that too with your clients that you have to be like, no, it's really has nothing to do with you. It's all about your marketing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we even dive into any more, what is your top tip for that first step of just when you realize, okay, I've got to get visible?
Yeah. Yeah.
How to overcome who am I to post on Instagram 3 times a week? Who am I to have this website?
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
So if it's a mindset situation where the person is like, who am I to do this? Who am I to charge for this? Who do I think I am? What are people going to think? For me, I had to get over that because I wanted to leave my corporate job and I wanted to have an income to support my family. And so for me, I am willing to do the things it takes to have that. And so that is me holding my nose and creating the content that I need to be highly visible. That means me going live or having a podcast or doing a podcast interview, offering to do a workshop or free training. That is me putting myself out there because the people that would say anything bad about me or judge me in any way, they don't pay my bills. And the other thing is that I firmly believe that we all have gifts and talents that were given to us by God. What I will share with my clients and students is, okay, I had a student that this happened to in the last round of my group coaching program. She is a WordPress expert. She develops gorgeous WordPress websites for people, but she also teaches people how they can do it themselves. And the results she gets are amazing. And she was afraid to put herself out there because of what people would think. And I said to her, how dare you not? Because you were given the gifts and talents to work in tech. That is not my love language. Praise baby Jesus for giving somebody a brain like that because I don't have it. But I told her, I said, you've got people just like me out here fumbling around trying to build their own freaking website and make it all work. And you've got the answer that will unlock my success. How dare you not share that?
I love that line so much and I was laughing here because listeners to my podcast know that I talk all the time about your passion for being a doula has to override the fear of showing up on Instagram or putting yourself out there. And when I left my corporate career, which just happened to be in marketing, but I remember having little pep talks with myself in the car. Like I used to go to the Chamber of Commerce breakfast networking meetings and I'd sit in my car like, I don't want to do this. And I thought, okay, Darcy, your choice is go in there and tell them you're a doula or drive back to this little marketing cubicle in the basement. And
Sure.
So if you want to get to do this awesome work as a doula, you got to be visible.
You do. And you've just got to put on your CEO pants and deal with it. I hate to be that blunt and that basic about it, but it's the truth. And this goes for anything you want to do in life. If you want to set a goal of running a half marathon, will your hate for running or the fact that it's 100 degrees outside or the fact that your knees hurt, all that stuff's got to go.
Or that people are going to watch you run.
People might judge me for who am I to think I'm a runner? She's tubby and she's got the menopause pooch going on and she doesn't look that cute in her Lulu leggings. And you know what I mean? All the crap we can tell yourself. But how bad do you want it? And the other thing, and the reverse of that is true. How many people do you want to bless? Because let's talk about being a doula for a second. All right. Let's talk about that is way different than developing a website.
Right.
This is life-giving, life-changing in the most beautiful, unbelievable, generationally impactful way I can ever think of. You're going to help somebody have a baby? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is huge.
And you're going to help as a doula, someone have a baby in a non-traumatic way that you're like, you have the possibility of giving someone a positive birth experience versus a traumatic one that they would drag around with them for the rest of their life. Yeah. So to use your words, Tracy, like, how dare you not?
Exactly. And that baby
Yeah.
has a non-traumatic experience. Yeah. No. Okay. So I hope I convince them all.
Everybody's putting on their CEO pants and they're ready to get visible. The other reason I love talking to you is I'm all about working smarter, not harder. Yeah. And when I think about, and everybody knows from listening to me, people need to see your message more than once. You can't just post once and have a full doula business. So I love what you talk about, creating 3 months of content, which just that sentence right there might give people a stomach ache. But the way you break it down, you make it easy and doable, and it's not really as scary or hard as it sounds.
No, it's not. It is the way that because I built this business alongside my full-time job, and it is the way that I kept my sanity and was able to create enough content week in, week out without feeling overwhelmed, without getting frustrated with it, without having to stare at the blank computer screen going, what the heck am I going to say? And having enough content to get the consistency that is needed to build a business. The biggest mistake I see people making is they get really excited about being on all this. I'm going to be on all the platforms. I'm going to be on Stuck. I'm going to go over to LinkedIn. I'm going to do some Instagram. I'm going to do some Snapchat. I don't even know if Snapchat's still around. Yeah. I'm going to do some TikTok. I'm going to do some Threads. I'm going to do it 7 days a week. And then 3 weeks later, they're flat on the floor, crying, exhausted. Oh my God, if I have to create one more piece of content, I'm going to puke. And they quit.
Yeah.
Until they catch their breath 2 to 3 weeks later, and then they come back out full steam. It's not sustainable. You can't do that. The algorithm doesn't like it. First of all. So what I love to teach is, first of all, I want you to pick one platform. One.
Yes.
You're so funny. You're like, I've been telling them this for years. Oh my God. This is exactly like when I have tried to tell my daughter something, and then my neighbor says the same darn thing to her, and she goes, do you want to know what Susan said to me that was so great? She said I need to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here going, freaking kidding me? I've been telling you this for years. Exactly what's happening.
Yes. No, but I also love it because I think sometimes you're like, hey, I'm bringing in this visibility coach and she's going to tell you this complicated strategy. No,
nothing I do is complicated. I am the simplest, most basic girl you will ever meet in your life, because part of me is lazy and part of me is proof that you do not have to have everything fancy with sparklers and fireworks attached to it to have a good business. You just don't. Okay. So
so actually, before you dive into this, I would love for you to share, because so many doulas, I think, are doing this too, starting their doula side hustle when they have another job or they have kids at home. That's the other thing, like, joke about being lazy, but we're lazy. We're busy. We don't have time to post on 7 platforms. So can you talk a little bit about how you built your business, your current business, while you had a 9-to-5 job? Because I think this is also another thing I hear is doulas say, I'm going to wait until I've passed my test, I've done the certification, then I'll make an Instagram, then I'll make a website. And I'm like, start that today. So can you talk about how you did that? You started your new business alongside your 9-to-5.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing, whether somebody has, I said this earlier today on a training, whether somebody has a 9-to-5 or not, we all have a 9-to-5. And what I mean by that is we may not be reporting to a cubicle, but we've got little kids at home. Or our kids, like me, our kids are grown, but we're taking care of my parents.
Yeah.
Our moms, we're taking care of our moms. Or you've got obligations. So it doesn't matter if it's a corporate job or not. There is something that we all have that's the corporate job. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So if it doesn't matter what you've got going on, we're all starved for time. What helped me from a time management standpoint was going in on one platform. I chose Facebook because it is the number one platform. That is where all of y'all's clients are hanging out in Facebook groups. But it was also the only one that I really knew. Because back then, when I built this business, LinkedIn was the place you went to get recruited or to find a job. It wasn't what it is now. And Instagram, I didn't know anything about it. And I didn't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because 10 is not my love language. I was like, I'm going on Facebook. I know that one. I got this one. So pick one platform. Then what I had to do was I had to say, okay, Tracy, you're not going to be able to run as fast as everybody else around you that's in these online entrepreneur groups that you're watching them have a 6-figure launch right out of the gate, right? Because they don't have a corporate job. They've got more time than you. You've got to run your own race. And I had to look at my schedule a week in advance. So and I still do this, every Wednesday, I look at the whole following next week and I plug in all of the known appointments, which lets me then see all my pockets of available time. And I had to be very serious with myself, and I had to set boundaries with my family. I explained to them, this business is important to me. I've got to not only serve the clients that pay me money, but I've got to have time to create the content and the offers that I want them to buy. But I had to look at the week and go, okay, Monday nights out, because these kids, they were in high school and middle school at the time. They played every freaking sport that had a ball. You name one, they played it. So we were busy.
Yeah.
And so I had to say, okay, Monday night's out because we've got whatever going on with the kids. Tuesday night, I could work for a couple of hours on Tuesday night. Thursday night, there's another hour there. Saturday, thank God they were teenagers because they slept till noon. So Saturday morning, nobody needed me, or my name was not mentioned until at least 10:30, 11 o'clock. But I couldn't sleep until 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I was serious about this business. So I had to get up Saturday morning, take advantage of those couple of hours that I had. Sunday, same thing, couple of hours. But I would tell them, look, I'm all yours on Monday night. I'm all yours on Wednesday night. That movie you want to watch, let's hit it Friday night. And that gave them comfort that I wasn't going to be working 24/7 and they were never going to see me again. And it gave me comfort to know I wasn't going to be working 24/7 and see them again.
Yeah.
And I had something to look forward to. So on Tuesday, when I was trying to talk myself out of doing the hours I said I was going to do, I was like, no, hold your nose, do it anyway. You can be with your family tomorrow night. You don't have to work tomorrow night, but you have to work Thursday night, but you don't have to work Friday night. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I set it up just like a part-time job.
Love it.
Just if I was going to go report to Starbucks or something. And my family understood that. So that's one of the biggest things I would say is if you're juggling a lot of stuff, whether it's full-time job, kids, parents, whatever, you have to plan ahead. You have to look at and be honest with yourself about what is my opportune time. If you're sleeping in every day, I'm just going to give you a little tough love. That's not going to build your business.
Right.
Now you'll get to a point where your business is built and you can take a little breather and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But not in the beginning. There's too much to be done.
Right.
So that should help them line out for a week on where are their pockets of time. And now I want to talk to them about their social media content, because in order to build a business of any kind, even if it is a local brick and mortar business, we've got to use social media.
Yes.
We have no choice. And it's free. It is the biggest marketing tool. Everybody's on it, whether they want to admit it or not. They are.
Right.
And so pick that one platform. So it might be Instagram for your doulas. It might be Facebook. They may love LinkedIn. Whatever it is, pick it, go all in on it. And then I want you to decide, what is your regular piece of weekly content going to be each week? Let me back up. Let's talk about the 3 months of content topics first. Forgot that part.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the exercise literally that I still use. I want you to visualize your ideal client. How are they feeling? What are they saying? What do they want? What are the emotions that they're experiencing? What are the questions you hear most often? all that stuff, like literally become your ideal client and visualize that and do that for about a minute or two. And then I want you to just literally brain dump, toss out everything that came to mind, all those words, all those ideas, all that visualization, let it bubble up and come out on paper. And then I want you to look at that list and I want you to think to yourself, what could I talk about that answers those questions ad nauseum? Because I know this stuff like the back of my hand because I'm an expert. Okay, so then I want you to start listing out topics. Try to get to 12 topics if you can, because my method is you take one topic per week for 12 weeks. That's 3 months. That's 90 days. And so I would look at that one topic. So for example, one of my topics is how to use other people's Facebook groups for visibility and list growth, even the groups that don't allow promotion of any kind. That's something that my people want to know. That's my topic for the week. Then I want you to decide, what is your regular piece of weekly content going to be? And your regular weekly content needs to be one of three things. It either needs to be a live video. I've been going live every Thursday at 11:30 for years. Or a podcast. That's a great second option because you can at least still hear my voice and hear my expertise. The third option, it's not the best, but it still works, is a blog. You just have to make sure that you do your SEO keyword research and promote the blog. So first is a live video, second would be a podcast, and third would be a blog. So decide what each week, what are you going to create? What is your regular piece of weekly content? So let's say, for example, they want to go live. I chose live because I don't like tech and I didn't want to have to buy a microphone and all that fancy stuff.
I was just going to say, so the low entry, like a podcast, you need a microphone, you need to edit, you need to create it, you need to put, when you say live video, that could be an Instagram live, right?
Yeah, with your phone.
Doesn't have to be fancy.
It does not. And I'll tell you, for people that are like me, that get easily distracted and can squirrel off in another topic really fast, take a sticky note, put it on your phone. As long as you don't cover up that lens. I'm recording, but you can't see my sticky note, but I can see my sticky note. Also been known to take a full piece of paper and tape it, scotch tape it to my phone.
No, with your notes on, or to block out? Yeah, okay.
The whole thing. And to block out the fact that I don't want to look at myself.
I love it.
But, and here's a hot tip. If you're going live on Instagram, you know how people's Instagram handles will pop up because they're joining you live? Push screen record on your phone right before you go live. It screen records the whole thing. And once you're done going live, it falls into your camera roll as a video. So all you have to do is go back and watch and say, oh, Darcy joined me. I'm going to DM her and I'm going to say, thanks for popping on live. So great to see you. Did you have any questions about what I talked about?
Genius.
Yep.
Oh, that is a hot tip.
And anybody that joins you live on Facebook, same thing. They get a DM. So great to see you today. Thank you. You asked the best questions. Or did you have any questions about what I talked about?
But also just, I get caught up with, I'm pretty used to seeing my own face when I go live at this point. But I get caught up in you seeing the names and you want to ask the questions, and then I lose my train. It's like, I would love to block that out, but still, I never thought of that, of screen recording it. And so you can still see or answer questions that people came up with. It's so good.
Here's another hot tip. If you watch me closely on my live videos, you will see that I'm reading. I'm at least looking at notes, right? And I don't care. I will tell people, I've got my notes here because otherwise we're going to squirrel off into another ditch and we're going to be here for 3 hours and be the worst.
And nobody wants that.
So when I go live, I like using StreamYard because it allows me to go live in several places all at once to get more bang for my buck. So I'm live in my free Facebook group, I'm live on LinkedIn, and I'm live on my YouTube channel. Once I get that system set up and I'm live, I tab over to a Google Doc that has my entire live script. It has the intro, the hook, the meat of the training, the outro. I am leaving nothing to chance.
I love it.
And that's why you'll hear me say at the beginning, if you have questions and comments for me as we go along, pop those into the chat because I'll answer them at the end. Because I'm not looking at the comments and the questions and I'm not looking at myself.
Yeah.
So hot tips on live right there.
Right.
Yeah, it is the low hanging fruit. Use literally. Oh, another hot tip. Okay, and then I'll move on. If you're nervous about going live, first of all, if you want to go live on Instagram and if it's the worst thing you've ever done, just delete it. Nobody's going to remember and nobody's going to judge. Just delete it, right? If you want to practice going live where you truly are live, create your own free Facebook group, make it private, secret. You're the only one in it. It's like being able to go into your own auditorium, push all the buttons, check the lighting, check the sound, make sure you know how the buttons work.
Yeah.
And then see how it goes in practice.
It's a great idea. That's awesome.
Thanks. Okay, so back to those 12 topics.
Yeah.
We're looking at one topic per week, how to use other people's Facebook groups for networking, visibility, and list growth. That's going to be my topic for the week. So I write out the live script. My intro is always the same because I'm going to make it easy. My outro my call to action may or may not change based on where I am. Like if the call to action last week was the free Facebook group and that still makes sense, I'm going to use that. Make it easy on yourself, but use something that leads to list growth. And then after I've written that out, I wrote that one thing, right? That live script.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take that and throw that into an AI tool, a free tool. I use the free version of ChatGPT, and I say, this is what I'm going to talk about live this week. Please write me 2 to 3 social media posts that pertain to this topic. It'll spit them out. I'll rework them. So then because what I want people to do is I don't want anybody thinking that to get massive visibility and be successful, you've got to post 7 days a week. That's not true. But what I do want you to do is I do want you to pick a cadence you can stick with week in, week out. And so that's why I keep saying 2 to 3 social media posts. 3 would be great. So you ask the AI tool to create 3 social media posts on that topic. There you go. You've got a Monday, Wednesday, Friday post. And you've got your live that you're going to do. I do on Thursday. So right there, I've got Monday covered, Wednesday covered, Thursday covered, Friday covered. Yes, Friday.
Yeah.
Covered. Then I take the audio from my live because I use StreamYard. And that is my podcast episode. Now that's a little advanced version.
Yeah.
But you could also ask AI, take my live training and write me a 3-point blog that you can then put on your website. Then the email that I send that week to my list is on Tuesday, hey, Darcy, this is what I'm going to talk about live on Thursday. Here's why you need to join me. Here's the link to join me. It's based on what I just wrote.
Yeah.
I'm not having to redo anything to email you. And then on Friday, I'm going to email you and go, hey, did you miss? Here's the replay. Hope you love it.
Boom.
Easy. So from that one piece of content, from that one topic and that one regular piece of weekly content, I've gotten everything I need for the week. And then, let me blow your mind a little bit. Then you take your evergreen, what I call evergreen content. So evergreen content are things that you can post about that don't change much. My free Facebook group, the name's not going to change. The reason for joining it's not going to change. So I'll create 2 different versions of a social media post for promoting my free group. I've got 10 lead magnets, and I create 2 different versions of social media copy to promote those, just to keep it fresh a little bit so that people aren't looking at the same thing all the time. So if you've already got Monday, Wednesday, Friday covered and you've got a live, there's 4 days. Then add on 2 lead magnets and a promotion about your free Facebook group or your podcast or your blog. And now you've got 7 days worth of stuff, but you've actually only had to create one thing.
Yeah.
And so no more excuses about not being full and not being consistent.
And now with ChatGPT or AI, that also makes this even easier and faster.
Yes.
But what I love about this so much is not only is it an easy way to get your content for the week and for 12 weeks, it also, that kind of visibility of just showing up consistently throughout the week on 12 different topics that are near and dear to your dream client's heart, that establishes you as a leader in the community, as an expert on this topic, as someone that they need to know. And that is the key to that know and trust factor, that no one's going to hire you until they know and trust you. And this is how you build those 3 things.
Exactly.
By showing up consistently, talking about the topics your dream clients are worried about, thinking about.
Exactly. And the trust, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm a business and sales coach. The trust has to be there, but I'm not delivering your baby. So if you, we've got your people, your doulas have to, come on now.
That's something I'm always saying. Like, we're showing up in the labor and delivery room, or we're showing up at your house 3 days after you have a baby. Like, you've got to do more than some Canva graphics.
Yes, exactly.
You've got to do those live videos.
Yeah.
So they see you, hear you, and trust you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they'll know immediately. That's why I love video so much. Is they'll know immediately. Oh my gosh, she's my person.
Mhm.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I am not everybody's cup of tea.
And I don't have to waste everybody's time by interviewing her or setting up a tent. Like, boop, I watched that video. I know.
Yeah.
I think that's another really great thing.
It's a huge, you're right. It's a huge time saver for sure. Yeah.
This is so good. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I know you have more tools in your toolbox and you have some free masterclasses coming up. Tell me about those. I'll put the link in the comment, but what's the link? TracyBeavers.com
/masterclass.
Yeah. So what will you be teaching on this free class?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm really excited about it. So I have my Business Visibility Made Easy is my 8-week group coaching program that we launch 3 times a year. And in this group coaching program, I teach 10 strategies for visibility and list growth that have nothing to do with paid ads or creating yet another free lead magnet. Because chances are you've probably tried both of those things. I'm going to teach you everything else you can do to ramp up your visibility to the point where people are going to start saying, Darcy, I see you everywhere. But you're not working harder. You're just using the strategies to ramp that up that leads to list growth and that trust and those leads and that income. So in this live masterclass, I'm going to teach you 4 of the 10 strategies. So even if you don't join my program, because I'm going to tell you about my 8-week group coaching program, I'm going to teach you the strategies and then I'm going to tell you about the program. But even if you don't join the program, you're still going to come away that day with something you can do, which I like. I don't like to attend a masterclass and give an hour of my time to somebody and come away going, there's an hour I'm never going to get back.
Yeah. And this 15-minute podcast gives you an idea of the value that you can deliver in a short amount of time. So I think that
one of the strategies that I will teach, the very first one, is the social media made easy strategy that we talked about today. But there's going to be 3 other ones they haven't heard yet.
I love it. So it's going to be so good. So I will put that link in the show notes, but head to tracybeavers.com as your website. And you love Facebook. I do. And you're Tracy Lane Beavers on Facebook, right?
Yep. I'd love for them to send me a friend request in a DM.
Yeah. So tell me, and then the name of your Facebook group, free Facebook group, what is that?
It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur.
Yeah. And it is a good group. I'm in there. It's a great group. And you also have your own podcast.
I do. I am so excited about it. We launched it last summer. My son is my podcast manager, and it's just been a hoot and a holler. We just love it.
Oh,
it's called Create Online Business Success.
I love that. I try to get my son to do like photography and videography for me. And he's 9. How old's your son?
He's 21.
Oh, okay. Mine's 19. And so.
Yeah. Well, thankfully he wanted to learn it because we talked about it last summer. I said, look, I'm going to launch a podcast. I'd love it if you were my podcast manager because tech is not my love language. And I want to be able to just do the recording and give you all the pieces and have you make it look amazing and sound great. And then how would that be? And he's, okay, cool. And we worked out. I do pay him a little bit of money, but I also pay for his cell phone. And we're also helping him with groceries in college. I mean, come on. But it's been great. And it's, bless his heart, he thought when he went to college, he was going to get away from his mama. But here I am every week sending him podcast episodes where he has to listen to me.
I was going to say, he's got to listen to you for an hour. So.
And sometimes when I record the cold open, I'll go, hey, Jack. Oh. I love you, or I had a great time visiting you, or whatever. And he's probably going, Mom, now I've got it. Oh, come on.
That is hilarious. I love it so much. But yeah, ways to strategically pay your kids to be.
Yeah, ways to make your children crazy, because that is what we're here for.
Oh my gosh. But hey, I'm over here thinking like he could have a whole business of editing podcasts, and that's a very marketable skill.
And actually he does. Some of my clients have hired him to do theirs. Yeah.
That's so cool. I think this could be another whole podcast episode, but one thing I also talk to my doulas about all the time is like what we're modeling for our children by building these businesses and showing them what is possible.
Yeah, because this wasn't possible when you and I were for me, it was graduate high school, graduate college, get the job and stay there and be happy and suck it up buttercup. And was just having this conversation with Jack and his girlfriend when we went to visit them a week or so ago. And they were like, how do you really look at the cost of living when it's just averages and then you're trying to pick the city you want to live in and you don't know how much it's going to cost? And I'm like, that's a great question at 21 years old to be asking. But then my other point was, that's okay. Get the job that you like. You can do podcast management on the side.
Yeah.
She does social media content. I'm like, you guys have this unbelievable world where you can just make money.
Yeah. Oh my God. They could join forces and have a whole empire.
Yeah, we may all be working for them someday.
Excellent. Tracy, thank you so much
Thank
for taking the
you.
time to talk to me today. And I will make sure everybody signs up for your masterclass and
Thanks.
follows you because you have all sorts of great tips. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.